The New Orleans Saints, they won the division last year. You can have your division title, Saints. We'll take a Super Bowl. Anyway, we'll get to them in a second. The New Orleans Saints, though.
Oh, Jesus.
Look, I wanted to give them a better grade in the offseason or for their free agency period just because of the gymnastics that they had to do with the salary cap. The fact that they were able to go from $70 million over the cap to being compliant, and, you know, I felt like they fared okay from having to cut so much off of the books. Bringing Jameis Winston back to me was your number one priority going into the offseason.
You're more convinced he's the starter of this team?
I absolutely am convinced that he's the starter of this team. I think they saw last year what Taysom Hill was, and Jameis Winston has way more talent as a quarterback than Taysom Hill ever thought about having.
I don't disagree with anything you just said. I'm just saying you are way more convinced of that than I am.
Mm-hmm.
Because, see, when they did the voidable years deal with Taysom Hill, we all know the money's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
It still means they're committed for 2 years. You're committed to paying him $9 million next year.
Yep.
You're not doing that for a guy that you don't expect to have a very large role.
Mm-hmm.
I can't figure out with Sean Payton what he thinks he's going to do with this team. And look, my grade is largely because you have been delaying this forever. I feel like New Orleans got caught with their pants down with the Drew Brees retirement.
Mm-hmm.
We all knew it was coming, but you've kicked the can down the road trying to stay competitive. It yielded you no Super Bowls, and now you are screwed.
Yeah. With the retirement of Drew Brees, it's obviously going to affect this franchise's future moving forward.
Yeah,
you still have
this
Sean
franchise.
Payton, though.
Yeah, they affect my grade on a franchise that you so happen to be real fond of.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. We'll get there.
Okay. Trey Hendrickson is no longer in town. They couldn't pay him.
And I'm fine with that, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Trey Hendrickson, to me, was one of the most overrated pass rushers in this class.
Mm-hmm.
Cincinnati gave him a very equivalent money to what Carl Lawson got with the Jets, and I think it's a massive downgrade in terms of player.
Mm-hmm.
The guys that I look at a guy like Sheldon Rankins.
Yep.
This is a guy that you drafted, used a first-round draft pick on. When you're kicking the can down the road this often with salary, you can't miss on a guy like Sheldon Rankins. I understand he's had injuries. I get that. For what the Jets gave him, you could have brought him back.
Mm-hmm.
With the calisthenics you did to get cap compliant, you could have brought him back. And I think that would have kept you. I don't think there's anything they could do to be competitive with Tampa Bay in this division this year. You could have been competitive for a wild card. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're competitive for a wild card. I think this is a bad team.
I don't think they're god-awful bad. I think that offense will still be able to put up points. They'll still be competitive in games. But in your little free agency period here, you couldn't do a lot because you were cash strapped, and you had to go out and get value guys like Ty Montgomery and Nick Vannett and Dwayne Washington. Those guys are great little pieces, but Alvin Kamara is going to run the show.
I just look at this team and say you have a lot of bloated contracts.
Mm-hmm.
And let's be really honest. I'm looking at every team in the NFC. You tell me when I come to a team that they're better than. Arizona Cardinals, LA Rams, San Francisco 49ers, Seattle Seahawks, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Green Bay Packers, Minnesota Vikings, Dallas Cowboys, Washington Football Team, New York Giants. I think that's where the line is. I'm at the Giants.
Yeah.
You do realize that puts them at 9 in the NFC, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're paying a shitload of money. You're not flush with picks. You've just done none of those things. You've let a lot of guys walk out the door for nothing.
Yep.
Now, the beauty of this, they're going to get a ton of comp picks next year. And that's all well and good. I think this is a 2 to 3 year rebuild.
Yep.
Whether it's Taysom Hill, whether it's Jameis Winston, I really don't care. I like this team better with Jameis Winston. I'm not sure Sean Payton feels that way.
Yeah, the championship window closed quickly on the New Orleans Saints. And while it's unfortunate, you still have a really good front office and coaching staff that is going to be able to bring this team back sooner rather than later. I have a good feeling. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. We are in the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different.